A pearl can sell for thousands of dollars, but the way it starts is not glamorous at all. In plain English, a pearl often begins as a problem, not as a plan. The mollusk is not trying to make jewelry. Something inside its body has gone wrong. What it does next is closer to damage control. It uses shell-building material to seal off trouble. Let's move inside the shell. Right under it sits a thin layer of soft tissue. It is called the mantle. The mantle has a normal job. It builds and repairs the inside of the shell. The material is mostly calcium carbonate, tiny crystal plates with a little organic material between them. Think of the crystals as bricks. Think of the organic layer as mortar. That is how the inner shell gets built, and pearls use the same toolkit. Normally, the mantle lays this material onto the shell wall. The system stays tidy. Nature is not always tidy. A parasite may get in. Sometimes it is a tiny shell fragment. Sometimes an injury pushes mantle cells deeper inside. People often say, pearls start with a grain of sand. That story is easy to remember. It is also too neat. The real point is not whether the trigger is sand. The real point is where the shell-making cells end up. To the mollusk, that misplaced tissue is an invasion. It has no hands. It cannot scrape the problem out. So it does the one thing it can do. It wraps the problem. Once mantle cells are in the wrong place, they keep doing their old job. They keep secreting shell material. Only now, the material is not landing on the shell wall. It starts collecting around a small center. Layer after layer after layer. The body isolates that little pocket of cells. Slowly, a pearl sac forms. You can think of the pearl sac as a tiny workshop. Quiet, slow, relentless. Every day, it adds a little more nacre. That is the mother of pearl layer. The process is a bit like forming a scab. The body cannot make the irritation disappear. So it seals it, covers it, keeps it from scraping the animal from the inside. Only this animal is not using a blood scab. It is using nacre. Nacre is not a blob of white powder. It is architecture. Most of it is aragonite. That is one crystal form of calcium carbonate. Those crystal plates are extremely thin. Between them sits an even thinner organic layer. If you cut a pearl open, it can look like an onion. Many layers around a center. But the layers are not smeared on randomly. They are stacked closely and neatly. When light enters a pearl, it does not just bounce off the surface. It travels into that layered structure. Some light reflects, some bends, some overlaps with light from other layers. That is where the soft, moving glow comes from. Not paint, structure. So a pearl looks beautiful because the animal spent a long time building invisible layers. Wild pearls are expensive for one blunt reason. The accident has to be just right. In open water, most mollusks never get the perfect trigger. Even when the process starts, the pearl can grow badly. The center can sit off to one side. The sac can tilt. One side can grow faster. Then, the pearl may come out flat, crooked, or baroque. Still interesting, not always the round jewel people imagine. Round, smooth, bright, and nearly blemish-free. Those things have to line up together. That is why a wild pearl with the right shape and glow can be so valuable. Once people understood the mechanism, they learned how to arrange the beginning. If the mollusk wraps a center, why not give it a rounder center? That is the idea behind cultured pearls, not sand turning into treasure. In many saltwater cultured pearls, a technician inserts a round shell bead, but the bead alone is not enough. A small piece of mantle tissue goes in with it. The bead gives the shape. The mantle tissue starts the pearl sac. Then the mollusk goes back into the water. And the waiting begins. Not for a few days, often for months, sometimes for 1 to 3 years. During that time, nacre slowly coats the center. Freshwater pearls can work differently. They are often started with mantle tissue without a hard round bead. So wild and cultured pearls share the same basic biology. Nacre grows layer by layer. The difference is the opening move. Wild pearls start by accident. Cultured pearls start by design. But humans only arrange the start. They do not build the pearl day by day. Water temperature matters. Water quality matters. Nutrition matters. The mollusk's health matters. All of that gets written into the pearl. That is why pearls can be white, pink, gold, silver, gray, black, or even carry a green-blue overtone. Color is not just dye sitting on the outside. It depends on species, nacre thickness, organic material, and trace elements. And the layered structure changes the way light behaves. That is what gives pearls their orient. So when you see a pearl necklace, look at it differently. Those glowing beads are not bits of dirt that became beautiful. They are a response to irritation, a defense, a slow mineral build. Layer after layer, the animal turns a problem into structure. Some beauty does not begin with perfection. It begins with something out of place, and then time does the rest.